Hello and welcome back to the Marty Show for another video. So Edwin has returned, Edwin's generation that is, on his second channel, Homeboy's Got Receipts. Well, technically he actually returned 2 weeks ago on his third channel, but I wasn't aware of that until he dropped his new video. My last video about Edwin was about the drama surrounding him, and it was appropriately titled The Drama Surrounding Edwin's Generation. I said at the start of my last Edwin video that it wasn't my first video about him, making this video my third. And although the last one was in January, I still think the Karim video series he made was and is disgusting. The video that Edwin put out today was called The Hacker, the Stalker and the Invasion of Privacy, and it will be linked in the description below. And for what he was addressing, it was a solid video, generally. He starts off by explaining why he had been gone for so long, and honestly, mental health breaks are important on YouTube. I've taken them myself. I also don't think that he was escaping his cancellation, or however you want to put it, the shirt thing and many other things he addressed previously. Per his video and the pressure that mounted, taking a break made sense in that situation. He goes into some more detail about the Onision Documentary he was involved in too, which gives even more insight. I personally haven't seen the documentary, and if I remember correctly, my criticism was about how he handled Jacqueline Glenn's comment about it. Although I thought it was strange that after advertising others not to go on it, that he himself did, but that's not raised in his new video, and it's just my opinion anyway. He also addresses in the video the situation where he was hacked, which I went into a little bit in my previous video about him. But I also spoke about the livestream and the contents of that, which Edwin didn't address in this video, which is fine. Per Edwin's video, it seems that he has a lead on who did the hacking and may even have confirmation, which is good. Because stuff like that, despite how I feel about Edwin in general, is not okay to do. So that's the hacker and invasion of privacy segment of the video kind of out the way, but the next part is a bit messy to me. Goes on to talk about someone who he refers to as Deity, who he fully shows clips of, which is a bit confusing. If you're going to not give someone attention, why fully show their face and clips of them? I understand there's context, it kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. Anyway, with that aside, he talks about someone who has, according to Edwin, been doing a lot of live streams about him and picking apart his old content and picking holes in it and accusing Edwin of things based off of that content. Now, I haven't seen any of the live streams or the videos that the person was talking about outside of what Edwin showed, which is where it gets a bit messy. I think it's safe to assume that most, if not all of his viewers, haven't seen the content he's referring to. The live streams, I mean. And what this section of his video lacks largely until the part with Dasher is context. Anyone can look bad out of context. I get that this person was talking badly about Edwin, but what they're referring to, Edwin mentions that he was picking apart old videos. Why not offer as much context as possible? Because I'm left thinking, okay, Edwin thinks this guy has been mean to him, and what Edwin shows supports that, but why? Why is this person being like that? Everything has context, and this severely lacks it, and honestly, if the context makes the guy look worse, then why not include it? All I can think is that maybe it's lacking context because the context makes some sort of sense to what the person is saying. Maybe it doesn't make the guy doing the live streams look any better, but if that's the case, then why not include it? Enough of rambling on about that. Sorry. The part about the guy interviewing Dasher makes a bit more sense to Edwin's video. It's a complicated issue and I'm not going to go into it. Watch Edwin's videos about the Sia and Dasher situation, and if there's a presentation outside of that live stream that presents the other side, then watch that too, and feel free to make up your own mind. Edwin also took down a few of the live streams, which is confusing because I was ready to talk about copyright claims, but what Edwin did wasn't a copyright claim, it was a takedown notice, as per screenshot from Deity's Twitter. He's the person who's doing the live streams, by the way. So comparing it to the copyright claim that Poppy gave him, Edwin, serves no purpose. Copyright claim is when you claim content, presumably after it's been published, and get it taken down usually. This is not a copyright strike which impacts your channel. Copyright claim can be appealed by appealing to the person who claimed the content, which is a bit stupid because why would they say they made an error when they want the content removed in the first place? That's where I was gonna go with my response to Edwin talking about Deity countering it. But a copyright takedown seems to be different again, and I honestly am not sure about how the appeal process works for that. If it goes through YouTube or straight to the person. But Edwin saying that Poppy filed a copyright claim and YouTube overturned it, it isn't impossible. I think it gets automatically reinstated if the claimant, in Edwin's case, Poppy, didn't respond. Just know that I've had a few run-ins with Poppy abusing the copyright system, both with copyright claims and copyright strikes. Deity claims that Edwin is abusing the system and that his videos, Deity's, were fair use. Of course, as they've been removed, it's hard to say whether or not they were in fact fair use, but fair use is also complicated. It's all down to how the person whose content it is views it. If the example that Edwin said is true, that he watched a whole video, whether it be 2 minutes long or whatever, and didn't say anything until the end of the video and didn't add commentary, then I think Edwin has a case. Kind of. Because taking down a whole live stream for just that seems a bit ludicrous in my opinion. If the live stream was an hour and that video was 2 minutes, for example, you're taking down a video that to my knowledge is showing public videos, or at least formerly public videos, for 1/30th of the runtime. I would also ask that if you're really curious about the copyright stuff, that you look into the copyright laws. They're different for every country, but I have kind of tried to keep it as simple as I can, and I know that both Deity and Edwin are in the same country, so there's not the whole, well, it doesn't apply to one of them, but it does apply to the other. The copyright system on YouTube is quite broken. Maybe Edwin has never had a channel shut down over appealing a false copyright strike. As I said, the streams aren't online, so it's tricky to say, but I understand both sides. But if it featured doxing or anything, not saying that it did, but if a stream ever does, I think the person being doxed should have a right to take down the video, even if it's 1/30th of the stream, or it should at least, bare minimum, be cut out of the stream. Thanks for listening to me ramble on a bit. Edwin's video will be linked in the description so that you can see what I've been rambling about for the past however long. Hopefully this made some sense, especially if you've already seen Edwin's video, then this would make a lot more sense. In reading out the script, I can see that it's kind of vague in some parts. It wasn't deliberate, but I feel like I kind of got my point across. I do want to talk about it in the comment section below though, because if there's some things that you've seen in Edwin's video that I either didn't talk about, there's probably a reason for that, or if there's some things that don't fully make sense in what I said, then ask me below and I'll try and elaborate as best I can. I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's difficult to make content and talk about stuff when people haven't seen or don't have the knowledge that you have about what you're talking about. As I said, this video will make a lot more sense if you've seen Edwin's video, but then how do you make a video about Edwin's video that would make sense to someone who hasn't seen it? It's something I struggle with, but I'm doing my best. Yeah, as I said again, third time in this video I think, Edwin's video will be linked in the description. Context, I suppose. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching this video. Thanks so much for the support recently, and peace.